What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Sean786 back again with another special TTMS special number 12. Yo, first of all, let me know if my audio is sounding good. If it's sounding shit, I will adjust it. But what is going on, my homies? This shit has been crazy, play. Absolutely crazy. The shit that's been going on. The shit has been going on for too long. But these ponies, these pigeon chests, bitch ass motherfuckers, we're gonna be talking that shit. But before we get into that, homies, let me give a shout out to you guys in the chat. Who do we have? We have Long Live the Black Mamba. Simon, thank you. Cheers, bro. We got TB, Toolman 55. What up, player? Zinks in the chat. We got Beam626, Phil Madrid, Amal Al Kafaji. What else do we got? Salt Wagon, Gaim Shock, Enzo. 4Q, what's going on, my UK player? Why so serious? Trey Frizzy's in the chat. Spitten. Long live Edwin. 9 lives. What's going on, player? Mishy's well in One Trick Pony. Simon, what is up, player? What is good, my Victor? Motherfucking click. What's going on, killer? What is up? What else do we have in here? T-Pain's in the chat as well. What is going on, my homies? What is good? Are you enjoying gaming? Are you enjoying yourself? Where are these punk ass bitches now? Yo, guys, we're gonna be talking about this. I'm not even tweeting this out because this is just for the homies. TTMS is just for the homies, and now whoever rocks out with me, they'll get to watch it and that. But guys, we got a lot of shit to talk about. We got these pigeon chest ponies talking that shit, telling the people that you cannot enjoy this game because it's got a low Metacritic. Listen to me, homies. We will be talking that shit. I played a bit of Redfall today. Well, what's it today? Yesterday I got a bit of a chance, and I had a bit of an emergency again. But we'll be talking about it, and we got the Phil Spencer interview. But we'll definitely be talking about these pieces of shits that have been talking that shit. Talking about this is game over. Onyx, what's going on, my G? Talking about this is game over. This is the shit I'm seeing on Twitter right now. And what's worse, what makes it even worse, guys, is the motherfucking pony bots. The pony bots are talking that shit. And 9 Lives has said it exactly, player. The pony bots are more annoying. Yo, Max City's in the chat as well. What's going on, man? 4Q as well. What is up? Distinctive 170. What's going on, my G? Volcanic's in the chat as well. Now, guys, listen to me. Before we get into it, this is going to be a lot of fun. But I'm coming after these motherfuckers. I'm absolutely going to come after these motherfuckers straight up. And then I'm not seeing the Phil Spencer interview. We'll watch that live in about 35 to 40 minutes or something. One Trick Pony. Don't even bring that guy's name up in the chat today. Do not bring that guy's name in the chat today, because you know what's going to happen, player. You know the show. What's it about? This, first of all, before I get into it, this, you know, when it comes to TTMS, TTMS has a sponsor. And it's sponsored by who?
Because anybody can get it.
That's right. Sponsored by anybody can get it. That's the beauty of this shit. That's the beauty of this shit. DVLS, what's going on? Enzo, what is up, my G? What's good? Now, before I get into it, let me get the super chats from the homie. Jay Rembert with a 5. Man, that Phil Spencer answer about the console, I know people won't like. I've not seen it yet. We'll watch it live together, player. Justin March with a 10. Shout out to you, homie, man. Justin March. And we got Adidas 20. He goes, I hate the pony bots and pony media. I hate them. He hates them. Adidas 20 has been talking that shit as well. A lot of the guys has been sending me DMs. What's going on, Zinc? A lot of the dudes have been sending me DMs, even Dirt as well. Edwin, what's good? Telling me, like, bro, I'm going to talk about this on TTS tomorrow with the homie Dirt. But they've been saying, brother, please don't flip, man. Don't be like these pieces of shit that were supposed to be Xbox guys, and all of a sudden they're rocking out with these ponies and talking that shit. Worse than ponies. I go, bro, listen to me, play. I go, when we do TTS, WBG, and KDP as well, We are the real Xbox fans. Even if Xbox goes through the shit, we'll still be there. We'll criticize them and then we move along, but we'll still be there day one. Unlike these other dudes who wants it for the viewers, the clicks, whatever the preferred. If it's like if it helps their channel, what's gonna happen? They're gonna flip and talk that shit. 100% players, 100%. Now, guys, Redfall is a hot topic right now. Absolutely a hot topic right now. And do you know what? Miss Marvel, what's going on? You know what? Squiggles, what's good? Because I'm at work. Yeah, I'm off today. But obviously, it's an afternoon for me anyway. But do you know what, guys? Honestly, I absolutely love it when the homies are enjoying the game. End of the day, I've listened to these other dog shit podcasts, and when they are talking about Forspoken, for example, they will say, "Have you played the game? Have you played the game? The game is good. Fair plays if the game is good, even though it's reviewed bad. The game is good. That's what you like. That's your preference. You can't come out and say one thing to one person, and then when the person asks you the same question, that's a low rated game. It doesn't count. I'm absolutely loving the homies that's enjoying the game. Regardless, if I don't like it, if some of you guys don't like it, if the game is not for you, you move along. But a lot of the guys have put 5, 10, 15, 20 hours into this game. And I'm loving it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the game. What's going on, Joey? Hope you well, player. And I'm happy, honestly. You guys are enjoying the game. It is not every game is for everybody. But we'll be definitely talking about it. But once this game came out, guys, some of these dudes, and I don't want to talk about doom and gloom because I've talked about it last time. I'll change the title a bit. But these pigeon chest ponies are coming out, sticking their chest out, and these dudes think they're gangsters. These guys actually think they're gangsters, but I know, and you guys in the chat know, these motherfuckers are plastic gangsters. That's what they are. Plastic gangsters. Rick, what's going on? Louis Hanamez. Xbox Mike goes, I need a PlayStation rant. Hopefully I'll sort it out, player. Snooky's in the chat. Gummy Hernandez, what's going on, my G? And this is what I'm talking about. Now we're gonna get into it. Before I get into it, let me get the super chats from the homies. Real non-stop talent, real non-stop talent with a 2. Paris Lily. That pony bot doesn't represent me. Talk that shit, player. Onyx, $2. He talks about Colt Eastwood for Redfall, got the heat, and decided to talk shite. Onyx, that's an interesting one, ain't it? That's very interesting. That's an interesting one. Mr. Eldrick with the £5. Shout out to you, my homie. Shout out to Sean and the bots in the chat. TTS bots, TTS. And you know, Mr. Eldrick, we will be doing TTS in all day, every day. Now, guys, I'm happy you guys are enjoying the game. If you don't like the game, you move along. You don't go on and on and on about it. And some of these guys who had previews, who talked about this game, that this game is great, all of a sudden, they're flipping. Talking that shit about this game. What is going on? It's insane to me. But listen, I'm going to talk about this now. I want to pull up a tweet. Where shall I start from? Where shall I start from? I'll start with Marlon Gaming, the piece of shit. Xbox zoom in. Let me zoom in a bit more, just in case you guys can't see it. And Ponies, listen, Ponies. I absolutely want you guys to look at this. Ponies, you make sure you can see this screen with your beady motherfucking eyes. You make sure you can see that shit. Wipe them tears. And make sure you can see that shit. Chia Walker, we will be watching the Phil Spencer interview live. I've not seen it yet, so don't spoil it for me, homies. Now, Redfall has come out. Has it reviewed well? Nope. Are people enjoying the game? Of course. Are some people not enjoying the game? Nope. The guys that don't enjoy the game, they will move along. They won't dwell on it. They won't be talking shit in and out every week, tweeting about it, making extreme videos about this, making it like this game has destroyed Microsoft. This game has destroyed Xbox. This is the end game. This is it for Xbox. This is the way some of these guys are coming out talking. The way they're talking and talking like that. This is the end for Xbox. What's going on, Zena? Hope you're well, girl. Nine Lives, what is up? Now, the beauty of this, guys, when this game released, everybody came out. And I'm talking about everybody. Pony bots, ponies, media ponies, they all came out. Pony rats as well. Now, every one of these dudes, after Redford said, Marlon Gaming Nation, you know, he's a PlayStation dude. I don't have a problem with Marlon Gaming, but the way this guy tweeted this out, he believes this is the end for for Microsoft. He goes, the future of Microsoft is in Starfield's hand. Do you believe this shit? Do you absolutely believe this shit? The future of Microsoft is in Starfield's hands, 100%. What the fuck are you talking about, Marlon? Are you stupid? Microsoft? Microsoft is a $1 trillion company. And what, the future of Microsoft relies on Starfield? Are you fucking stupid, Marlon Gaming? That's some of the dumbest take I've ever seen, ever. And you're talking about the future of Microsoft. Xena, I will play, I'm going to watch it live. So, Xena, I've not seen it myself. So, around about 35 to 45 minutes, we'll watch the live interview. We'll watch it live here with me. So, I want to, obviously, it'll be my reaction, my first reaction to it. Xbox is out here. We talk about Xbox right now. Forget Microsoft. Xbox is still making money. Regardless of the hardware is down, they're still making money. Profits, breaking records. And this dude is coming out talking about the future of Microsoft is in Starfield's hands. One fucking game. One game. One game. Really? One fucking game. Talking about that's the future for Microsoft. This shit is crazy to me. And I know some of you guys are talking about certain podcasters and recent podcasts saying some shit. Some people have been talking that shit that on an Xbox podcast. I know you guys have mentioned the name in the chat. But when someone says the future of Microsoft it lays in the hands of Starfield, when you see a tweet like this, I don't mind if you do digs and that, having a bit of fun, talking that shit. Fair play, I'll do that shit. But I'm not going to come out and say the future, because of Redfall, the future of Microsoft relies on Starfield. Really? Relies on Starfield? Come on, dude. This is a $1 trillion company, first of all. And after one game, this is the beauty of this, guys. And look, this. Let me remove the screen. This is the beauty of this. Because I've been talking to Dirt about this, even like Joey as well, but like the boys, but Dirt over the phone and that. I got the beauty about this. As time is going on, more and more people are starting to notice who are the flip-floppers, who are the people that are like pony bots. And when the time comes, will they be there rocking out with the Xbox all day? Nope. As time is going on, some of the people are getting exposed. And some of you guys, by all means, you don't like the dude anymore. You don't want to follow his content anymore. And I respect that. That's your right. Some of you guys are talking about it in the chat. Certain people on the podcast going extreme. And it's sad to see that. When a company has been through rougher times, in my opinion, rougher times. Let me just sort this lighting out 1 second. This lighting a bit shit. I think that's a bit better. Rougher times. And all of a sudden, they're flipping. These dudes were capping hard. Hard back in the 2017, 2018, 2019 days. Extremely. Now they're all of a sudden pissed, flipping. Really? Now, when Microsoft is buying studios left, right, and center and publishers, now is the time to flip. Criticize them, 100%. I will always say criticize Microsoft, Xbox. Whoever preferred your sports team, your favorite car, your favorite TV manufacturer, favorite mobile phone. Criticism, fair game. Talk that shit. I'm telling you right now, when it comes to criticism, by all means, go for it. But when you go overboard, that's when a lot of people have a problem. That's when a lot of people that support your channel or support you or rock out with you have a problem. Because on the other side, where them pigeon chest motherfuckers are, them are the guys that are doing that shit. Them are the guys that are going week in, week out, every fucking minute, talking that shit, digging that shit in our face, throwing that shit in our face. And then on top of that, we got your punk asses doing the same shit as these motherfucking ponies. And you surprised the homies, the Xbox, are coming after your punk ass? Are you surprised? Really? When you got these shit-faced cockmasters doing the same shit every day, talking shit for no reason half the time, bringing shit up, talking about fire this person, Xbox is this, Xbox is that. Doing it non-stop every fucking week on a podcast, on Twitter, on social media. And then your punk ass comes out of nowhere doing the same shit. And then you get upset. People are unfollowing me. People don't like my takes. People are upset with me. And then you find out. Then you say to the people, oh, I'm just keeping it real, blah, blah, blah. Shit. Them homies that used to follow you, liked your content, they keeping it real. They ain't following your punk ass. Is they not keeping it real? If I called someone, if I was supporting someone, and then all of a sudden I'm keeping it real, I'm keeping it real because I don't want to support your punk ass. You know what I mean? Every motherfucking people in the chat here right now has the right to tell me to F off, unfollow me, I don't support you anymore. That's your fucking right. That's your right. And you keeping it real. But that's what I'm talking about. When the ponies are talking shit, then you got the supposedly Xbox guys who were capping through the hard times. This is what they were saying. I got some receipts. But this is what they were saying. Apparently they were capping for this shit. Through the hard times, and now all of a sudden, you don't like Xbox right now, you don't like what they're doing right now. A lot of people are following you right now. Really? Let me get my pony fucking tears. Listen, I got a new bottle here. I'm waiting for the ABK deal to be done, to be honest. But I got the pony tears and the pony bot tears here right now. I'm gonna have some of this shit. Let me get the super chats as well. Mandingo with the fireman. God damn it, Phil. I really wish that Redfall was delayed. It's hard enough in the streets with these bitch ass motherfuckers twerking the bitch ass on the street corners, growing goblin ponies. Talk that shit, player. We got a homie Drone TJ with a 5. Hi, Sean. Everyone, please hit that like button. Please stop the doom and gloom bullshit. Drone TJ, I know you watch these podcasters, these other ones as well, when they have people on the podcast talking about doom and gloom. I know that shit. Long live the Black Mamba with a 2. Name one Xbox exclusive that bricked the Xbox console. Talk that shit. Talk that shit. Name one. Name one. First of all, that big bitch of a PlayStation 5 looks like a brick. It looks worse than a fucking brick. Let's be honest in that. Let me have some pony fucking tears and pony bot tears. Shout out to the 100 people here. Mandingo with a 5 again. I'm not worried about Starfield. Just excited. For anyone that thinks a game that's massive to have 0 bugs is fucking delusional. Bro, you're 100% right. God Howard has it under control. A game like Starfield, that game is once in a lifetime, like once in a decade. Them type of games come out. I expect that game to have bugs because of the size of the game. The way that game, what the game is trying to do. I expect that game to have bugs and glitches. Because of the size of the game. It's not a small semi-world open game. It ain't a corridor fucking game. Corridor space game. It's a massive open world game, and that game will go on for like 15 plus years. We know that shit. Absolutely know that shit. Shout out to the homies in the chat, man. Shout out to the 106 as well, guys. We'll definitely get to the Phil Spencer interview later in the show, and I'll put timestamps as well. But when I'm going back to these ponies and pony bots and that, and then some of the Xbox guys getting upset because a lot of the Xbox guys are calling them out, unfollowing the channel, not supporting them anymore because they're trying to keep it real. But the homies are keeping it real because they don't want to follow your shit. They had enough of these ponies talking that shit. Even when a game comes out, if it's a 90 rated game, these punk asses still won't give no credit. They still will never ever give credit. 1 second, guys. They will never ever give you credit when the Xbox releases a good game. But when a game comes low, all of a sudden, they will dog shit in that game. Even the pony bots will dog shit that game. And that's where the problem lies with you guys. Don't get upset if a lot of these guys unfollow you. Don't support you anymore. Call your bitch ass out on certain things. Talk about it, criticize it, and move the fuck along. But you want to keep it real? They're keeping it real when they unfollow your punk ass and don't like your shit anymore. They're keeping it real. The homies are keeping it real. Distinctive, what's going on, my G? Facts, man. Let me get a super chat. Bitches, man. Pony bots quick to ban you because their opinion is the truth, but would allow a pony to diss you and your takes and say I'm neutral. I can't make this shit up top notch. You're 100% right, player. 100% right, player. I've just got a message. 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. I've got to take this message. 1 second. Sorry about this. 1 second. I'll be back. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. Sorry about that, guys. But getting back to it. Shout out to the 111 people here. Long live the Black Mambas. Ponies don't got... Listen to me. I'm watching these podcasts just like you guys. I told you I listen to podcasts whenever I can. I see what these people are saying. And this is why I know when I see something on Twitter or you guys are saying something in the chat, nine times out of 10, I know exactly what you guys are talking about. And I know why you guys are upset about this. And certain people you're going after, certain people I don't even know. Listen, if you want to drop the names in the chat. Go for it. If it's someone's take you don't like this week, go for it. As long as it doesn't get personal, go for it. I didn't like his take. I feel like it's too much. Fair plays in that. But when you have the Xbox in your motherfucking title, and that's your podcast, what's it based off? And you're there talking shit, extremely talking shit, going all out on it, like how the haters would. That's when the problem happens. That's when the problems happen, when the people unfollow you. So don't get upset. Never get upset. If you're getting upset, then shut the fuck up and move along. But shout out to the real homies that support the real ones and that. Criticism, 100%. Guys, listen to me. And even you motherfucking ponies and pony bots, if you listen to me, criticism, go for it. But the way you go about it, the way you're hating, that's when the problem comes. So don't be surprised when people call your bitch ass out, punk ass out, and saying, like, I'm just going to say that, just took it out of my mouth. Talking about Phil Spencer needs to go, management needs to go. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's when people say, fuck off, I don't support your channel, I don't support your content anymore. I used to rock out with you during the hard times, and this is the time that you're flipping, and this is the time you want to talk that shit after the harder times before, after the investment that what Xbox is doing right now. Now you're flipping, or now you're trying to talk that shit. You should have been talking that shit back then. But the way you're talking that shit now is next level. And that's where the problem is. Now, after this news came out, guys, what's that there? After this news come out, you know, this person, you know that look, my G. Some of the dumbest shit ever. Some of the dumbest shit ever. This dude comes out. Oh shit, Volcanic talk that shit. What is this tweet? Now, look at this shit here, guys. Look at this shit. Let me get some water, homies. I want you guys to look at this shit. I know there's a pony in there. Pony, listen to me. Fuck you. And fuck out to them dog shit podcasts. You said, you talking about me capping? Did I say the game was perfect? Did I say it's the best looking game ever? No, I'm not saying the game is perfect. The game probably has got a problem. It's not the best looking game. But I'm talking about this shit that these pony bots are talking about. I'm talking about the shit these ponies are talking about. They're really taking it further beyond this shit. That's where the problem lies in that. I'm not coming out talking about Redfall is the game of the year or some shit. We're not saying that. Many of the guys are enjoying the game. They're enjoying the game. But none of them are coming out the game is perfect. None of the homies are saying that. They're enjoying the game. But the problem lies with these pony bots and ponies. For example, this dude here. Look at this shit. And this is the dumbest shit ever. This is another dumb shit I'm talking about. He goes, look, my G. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just looking around and seeing stuff that's weird. I said, if this deal don't go through, Phil is fired and Xbox will be discontinued. This dude that said it, Phil will be fired and Xbox will be discontinued. So you tell me why the head of Xbox, Matt Booty, and Phil Spencer ain't got the blue check mark. You see this shit here? You see this shit? Look at this shit here. This dude is saying, look. So you tell me why the head of Xbox, Matt Booty, and Phil Spencer ain't got the blue check mark in the search bar. You see this shit? Dude, has this guy been following Twitter? Has this guy really been following Twitter? What's been going on Twitter with the blue check mark? Really? Dude, this guy's on Twitter non-stop and he's talking about these guys don't have a blue check mark anymore. Yo, let me play this.
The fuck are you talking about?
Really? If you guys are on Twitter, and some guys may not be on Twitter, Elon Musk obviously took away the blue check mark. Now they're bringing them back slowly because people over 1 million followers will get them back. So slowly but surely, but Elon Musk was asking people to pay for the blue check mark. Asking people to pay for that shit. If you're on Twitter, guys, just in March, man, I know like some of you guys on Twitter, you know exactly what's been going on with Twitter with the blue check mark. And this guy's talking about why hasn't this guy's got a blue check mark anymore? This is looking suspicious to me. What the fuck are we talking about here? What are we doing here? Really? He's coming out trying to claim. He's trying to, first of all, he's trying to pretend that I'm not trying to say something, but motherfucker, you're saying something. You're saying something right now. Why tweet this out? If you got nothing to say, you tweeting this out trying to do something, trying to make something out of it. So he's saying the reason why Phil Spencer and Matt Booty don't have a blue check mark, this is suspicious, and they might get kicked out. They might get fired. They might get fired. So he's saying Phil Spencer does not have a blue check mark. Okay then, give me 1 second. As of this is the tweet. Let me pull this back so you can see it. So you think I'm bullshitting? Ponies, is this your savior? Is this your king? No, this is your bitch. Look at this shit. He's saying Phil Spencer does not have a blue check mark. Okay. Let me go to Phil Spencer profile. Let me go to Phil Spencer profile. 1 second. Where is Phil Spencer's profile? Now, guys, take a look at this shit. Look at this shit. DA45, what's going on, love? Hope you well. Look at this shit. This dude was trying to start something. Absolutely trying to start something. I'm not trying to say anything, but tweets this out. Phil Spencer does not have a blue check mark. Look, my G. Look at this shit now. Who's got a blue check mark? Has he got a blue check mark right now? I know your maths is dog shit. I know that. I know your maths is dog shit. You're trying to start something. All your followers, all your pony and pony bots following you, trying to start some shit. But look at this shit. A blue check mark right there. Absolutely fucking crazy this is. Drone TJ with the 5. I love your channel, bro. We should play Xbox this weekend. Do you know what? TTS community game night. The plan is to do... What time is it? This week, we're doing it. This Saturday, TTS community game night. The target's this Saturday, definite. I'm doing it this Saturday, guys. So I'll be ready. I'll let you know tomorrow what time we'll do it. Giggity with the 5. Shout out to you, homie. I guess everyone forgot that Xbox was Developer of the Year in 2021. Now, Giggity, you 100% right. They don't give Xbox credit for that shit. They do not give Xbox credit for that shit. Do you know why? Because it doesn't make sense. It does not fit their narrative. Because every Xbox game was scored in the high 80s and 90s, I believe, as well. Some of them. Maybe one of them hit 90s. Squiggles, we'll do Redfall. We'll do Fall Guys because we get a lot of people on Fall Guys. Gears and Halo. But I'll start it with maybe Redfall. See how many people start coming in. Then we'll play around with like Halo, Gears, and Fall Guys. So have that games ready, player. Guys, what time do you want to... I'll talk about it tomorrow. What time do you want me to do community game night? Around about 4 p.m. Eastern? 4 p.m. Eastern? Then some of you guys will hop in around about 5, 6 p.m. Eastern. Let me know. Yeah, Saturday I'll play the bit of the game. I'm holding off because I want to play with the squad. So I might play a bit more today than on Saturday. We'll play with the squad and then we'll get the full team in. And everybody will join us on Discord as well. We'll be talking that shit, live streaming it as well. But getting back to this shit. Dudes out here talking about a blue check mark. Long live the Black Mamba. I'll let you know, bro. 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you know tomorrow exactly what time I want to do it. Nikki T. So do we have... No, if you can use your Xbox microphone if you want. Discord, isn't it? It's Discord on the Xbox. Just use a headset. I'll let you know Wednesday, bro, man. I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it goes. But Saturday is the target now. I really want to do a community game night. I've not done one for a long, long time. Getting back to this shit. Phil Spencer not having a blue check mark means it's end game for him. Means it's over for him. Him and Matt Booty did not have a blue check mark. But all of a sudden, this dude disappeared. Nowhere to be seen anymore. A blue check mark's right down his name. A blue checkmark is right down his name. Squiggles, don't worry about it, player. I'll probably be streaming for 4 or 5 hours straight. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. It'll be 4 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern. I just need to check my shift out. I need to see what shift I'm on. Because I've just got a message that's changed. Nikki T, don't worry about it. 1 second. Nikki T, 1 second. 1 second. Nightbot will drop a link in the chat for Discord. It's easy to sign up with it. 2 seconds, guys. My Discord link's in the chat, guys. Hit that link, join Discord, and we'll be doing community game nights. We'll let you know how it goes. But don't worry about it, homies. We'll be talking that shit. We're having a lot of fun. That's the link in the chat. The Discord link's in the chat, guys. Let me drop it once more for you guys. Nightbot will be doing it. It'll be doing it 1 second. There we go. It's not hard. It's easy to join, guys. And then you can use your Xbox as a Discord stuff as well. But dude's complaining about a blue check mark. A blue check mark. This is the shit I'm talking about. These dudes will go out of their way. Some next level conspiracy in that. Talking about Phil Spencer doesn't have a blue check mark. Matt Booty does not have a blue check mark. Something is suspicious. Something's up with this. I'm not saying they're going to get fired, but why the fuck would you tweet it out for? If you're saying they're not going to get fired, why would you tweet something out like this? Why would you tweet something out? Because you're trying to start some shit. We see through your bullshit. You're trying to start some shit. Yeah, Squiggles I've never used on Xbox, but obviously I use the computer, so... Yeah, Toolman, awesome, man. Congrats on your kid for graduation and that. Shout out to you, homie. But I'll be dead, don't worry about it. The target is going to be, Saturday. I really want to do it. Because Redfall, I started with Redfall. When people start coming in, recycling in, then we'll play like Halo. Fall Guys is a great game because we get up to like 30 people, I believe, or 60 people. So I love Fall Guys. Make sure you download Fall Guys because we got so many people on that shit and it's a lot of fun, man. So we're definitely going to be talking that shit this Saturday as well. Now, next up, I want to talk about something before we get into the Phil Spencer interview. And this shit's crazy to me. What's this? Yeah. Alright. You know, like, guys like Jeff Grubb, I totally, like, I actually do believe they got sources. You know, and sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss. Like Jeff Grubb, even like Jez as well. But all of a sudden, fuck you, no worries, bro. I know you'll be that player. But all of a sudden, you know, once Redfall launched, these guys came out with a statement. They came out with this. And I think they just riding on this. Unless they didn't know and they didn't want to say nothing. According to this podcast here, Jeff Grubb podcast. Let me have some water, killer, before we go. And Gears as well, yeah, Gears. Get them games. Now, Jeff Grubb, I'll be honest with you, is he right sometimes? Yes. Is he wrong? Yes, as well at the same time. But the way he's doing this tweet, he's not the only one from the media people, but the way he's tweeting this out after Redfall, I feel like he's, Skills Town, it sounds like he just wants more clicks. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, if Jeff Grubb came out and said this, there's a problem with Redfall right now. Yeah, Chia Walker, we'll see how it goes on that. But he should have said this before, though. If I've not watched the interview in that, but he should have said this before. If he's backtracking on that. If I knew information, this guy likes to leak stuff. He could have said that last week. That, you know what, I heard Redfall is going to be a disaster. I heard Redfall is going to be this. I heard Redfall is going to be that. Then obviously, when the game comes out, at least he's hit it on the spot. Then the game has come out and it's a rough launch. The game doesn't look the best. It might not be playing the best. But this guy came after this. I'll watch the interview and let's see how it goes on that. But if he said this before and he came and, okay, then Redfall, you know what, it's got its problems. It's got some performance issues here and there in some parts on the PC as well, maybe on the Xbox. If he said that before the game launch, we would have said, you know what, fair play to Jeff Grubb. Someone's told you and the game was had some problems going into it. Is the game completely broken? No. He could have said the game, but the way they're coming out and talking about Redfall is going to be a disaster. You know, it's like me saying this, like, pretending to be an insider. And saying, when Redfall launch, yeah, do you know what, Joey, Dev, you know, guys in the chat, man, you know, I heard that Redfall is going to be dog shit. I heard Redfall is going to be scoring low. They don't believe in the game. Microsoft didn't believe in the game. Imagine me saying that shit after the game's come out. If I said that before the game, I go, listen, I think the game's coming in hot. Microsoft had some issues with the game, and Redfall is not going to be a perfect launch. It's going to have some problems at launch. If I said that before the game launched, you would have said, maybe, Sean, let's see when the game comes up. But when I say after the game is launched, you can say this guy's just doing it for the likes or clicks, or maybe the guy's full of shit. All he needed to say is, before the game launch, I feel like I've heard some things about Redfall is it's not looking the best. It's not shaping up to be one of the best games. He could have said that before, but all of a sudden these guys want to come out, get the clicks, get the likes, and say, I knew about this. Marks looked at the game, they didn't believe in the game, and they knew Redfall is going to be a disaster. DVLS, yeah, you did them for broken. Yeah, but that game, I could tell when they first showed that game off, that was spooky, bro. The way they were showing off the game, that's why I didn't believe in it. That's why I didn't believe in it. Wilfrey, yeah, do you know what it is, bro? With Forspoken. Yeah, I know you guys are gonna put that shit up now, but with Forspoken, when I first seen it, bro, I knew there was something straight to it. That's not the way the game is gonna perform. No chance. No chance in hell. It was looking too good at the time. But I knew it was suspect. I knew it was sus as hell. Long live the Black Mamba, you may be right. Maybe it's time to blackball some. But the thing is, these guys got information and things are getting leaked. But why come after and say the shit before? And then we might call you out. But if the shit comes out as legit, you're Jeff Grubb, we were wrong. Like the homie Zinc, what was going on with Zinc and that. Zinc did not believe there was a Kojima game coming out. People were calling Jeff Grubb full of shit. Ponies were hating on the dude because Kojima is known with working with Sony all of these years. Jeff Grubb stood his ground, said Kojima has signed a contract and they're making a game for Xbox, an exclusive Xbox. A year and a half later, that got confirmed. Zim came out, Zim goes, he's got it right, fair plays and that. That's it. Simple as. Either you're wrong or you're right. I'm sorry, either you're wrong or you're right. Jeff Grubb stood his ground. That was correct, 100%. Shout out to Ritz for gifting 5 memberships, man. Shout out to Ritz and that. Guys, make sure you appreciate. I got a special emoji for Ritz because he's been gifting a lot of people memberships. Use your emojis, guys. Use the emojis as well. Shout out to Ritz, man. Shout out to you, homie. This is what I'm talking about. Come on, say. Either way, people are gonna call you out. If he said it before, people said, you know what, you're full of shit, Jeff Grubb. And if it comes out to be true, then fair plays. But when you say afterwards, people are still going to call you and talk that shit. It's worse because he's coming after. And he was not the only one. There was one or two other people said that shit. Come out and say the shit before. If I knew some information, I'll say something before the shit, before the game's launching. Then, you know what, Sean, you right. Or if the game comes out perfect, Sean, you were full of shit. Your source was wrong. Move the fuck along. You can't get everything right. Onyx goes, 1 second, let me remove this. Onyx goes, Colt did the same thing, Sean, I lost all respect. You know, I don't have a problem with them dudes. I don't have a problem with Colt Eastwood and these boys and that. The way he played the thing, and it's a bit suspicious because they played on the PC. He went there and everybody praised the game. Everybody praised the game. And when they came back, all the previews were positive. All of a sudden, these dudes are doing a full 180. A full 180, they're just swinging it back and going back on this shit. And they're talking that shit right now. I played Redfall. Do I think it's one of the best looking games? No. It's not the best looking game. It's not a great looking game when it comes to the character models. The world looks okay now, but like it's not like oh shit, this is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. This game looks good, man. This game looks amazing. No, it's not one of the best looking games out there. But I'm sure if I were playing that game, I would have come out and said this game was looking incredible. This game is looking fantastic. Besides the frame hiccups, this game is looking fantastic. I would have came, oh listen guys, gameplay is looking good. The game is quite good and that. It's not the best looking game, but the way these guys were coming out, they're talking about Redfall. The game was looking incredible. That's the way these guys were talking about. I'm not sure what the fuck they're saying or what's going on, but all of a sudden, all of these guys are flipping back, doing a 180, and coming out with some ranting videos, talking that shit about that. And honest goes, Sean, the PC version is worse. He's been playing on PC. I'm not trying it on my PC. Tank Fountain talk that shit play. You know, oh shit, did Nine Lives, did he say that? Oh shit. Oh shit. Look, guys, it is what it is. As time is going on, you'll find out these guys. Okay, let me go back on this. On Joey's podcast, Joey asked me the question: where are these new breed of Xboxes coming from? Where are they coming from? Who are these guys? Like, I said to Joey, listen, bro, the guys that were talking that shit back in the days, Nine Lives, I must have missed it. I've listened, but I must have missed it. Talking that shit back in the days, supporting the Xbox. How could them guys, you'll know, like from like back then, because they were doing it through the difficult times as well. But the guys that come and started this generation, the series consoles, the PlayStation console as well, PS5, these guys are new. These guys are trying to be media. They're trying to be full on media. They want people. They want interviews. They would love to get interviews from any Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's the way they're running these guys. These guys are launched themselves, jumped on big podcasts, trying to help people. I'm sorry. Trying to get like a boost from these other podcasters. And what it was with these guys, these dudes they went on Xbox podcast and they got the boost, they got the support from a lot of the homies, a lot of the guys in the chat as well here, a lot of other people. So a lot of these guys came on and they were supporting Xbox. They came on that wave with bigger YouTubers and jumped on the same podcast and boosted the channel. That's what they did. A lot of these guys did that shit. They jumped on these Xbox podcasts and boosted the channel. And that's what's happened. But all of a sudden, you start to see these guys. They send the numbers. Yeah, we'll keep it about Xbox. Let's build our channel up. Then all of a sudden, when Xbox is like, had a few misses here and there, all of a sudden it's doom and gloom. It's game over. This is it. Sign me the contract. Send me the contract. PlayStation contract, I want the contract. This is what's happening right now. These guys were never real. These guys came in, rode a wave, jumped on these big podcasters, and you know what? I'm gonna stick. Let's just ride it out for a bit, because everybody's tuning in because they recognize me from this podcast or from this other podcast, and all of the people that supported that podcast are coming to your channel, and that's what's happening right now. You've seen the true colors. These guys are getting exposed. You've seen the true colors. That's what's happening. And that's what I talked about in Joey's podcast. As time is going on, you'll know exactly who the real ones and who the guys are doing it for the clicks, for the viewers. You'll know that. Guys are sending me DMs, man. Absolutely sending me DMs. But honestly, I'm not joking. I don't want to mention the names. But I'll talk about it tomorrow on TTS. Long live the Black Mamba with the 2. Pony Boss just want Xbox to be like PlayStation. Listen. It's good to be different. What? Joey goes, I spit on our contract. You gotta understand, like, Xbox is doing their own games. Xbox are good at making multiplayer games and different unique type of game. PlayStation is good, not dog shit at making multiplayer games, but good at some single player games as well. Everybody can't be the best at everything, but as time goes on, when you keep trying and trying, some can be a hit, some can be a miss. Just for like certain games might come out, it might not work for this team, it might not work for that team, for this other team. So they move along, they tried it, it does not work. Let's go back to the old ways, what we were doing before. Every platform holder has different unique experiences. If it's single player games, multiplayer games, platforming games. Nintendo has a platforming games. PlayStation as of right now has a single player story games. Xbox has the multiplayer games. That's what it is right now. And as time is going on, Venomous Viper, what's going on, Killer? As time is going on, you'll see that. You'll see different games from the different platformers. That's why Xbox is investing into more and more studios. You can see a diverse lineup. Never ever seen before from Xbox. And them games, you might not like them games. They might score high, Grounded, Pentiment. Them 2 type of games, they will score like in the 80s. I might not like that game, but the next person will like it, or someone else may like it. And that's the beauty of it. When you have a diverse lineup, you can go from the platforming, from the multiplayer, from the single players, and much more, even RTSs. That's when you become a diverse lineup and a crazy platform. And I really do believe that's the target that Xbox is trying to do right now. That is the target right now. Trying to hit every fucking market. Minecraft is there. You got your Gears of War with the multiplayer, single player and multiplayer, Halo with the multiplayer. When it comes to the racing scene, you got your open world arcade style Forza Horizon. Then you got your motorsport, your simulation, Forza Motorsport. Then you got your shooters, your first person hardcore shooters like Doom Eternal. Adventure games are coming. You got your single player narrative games, Hellblade 2. Action adventure games are coming. Indiana Jones. Let's see if that's exclusive. But when you talk about the future of games and the diverse lineup, that's the beauty of it, guys. That is the beauty of it. Now, guys, before we get to the Phil Spencer interview, let's I got one more thing to talk about. Let's see. You know what? I might get to the Phil Spencer interview because I think that interview is about half an hour long, guys. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. Now, Kumar goes, I don't want the same games reskin. I want different games like FPSs, racing, RTSs, fighters, not just third-person action adventures. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, guys. You want different experiences. And that's what people might play the games on PC, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. But with the way Xbox is trying to do, what they're trying to do right now, they're trying to hit every market. And so, some of them may be a miss for the studio. They might try it. Listen, it's not worked out for us. Let's move along. Just like with Hellblade, Hellblade 1 was a success, even though they struggled with the launch of it. When it comes to the PlayStation first and Xbox, they tried Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge did not work for them. Let's get back to Hellblade 2. And that's the beauty of these studios. I mean, you have a diverse lineup of studios making different games. Imagine every Xbox gamer making single player action adventure games. Just imagine that. Just imagine you making one style of game. Yeah, Toolman, I'm gonna watch it live, bro. Imagine making one style of game. Imagine 24 studios are making the same fucking games. Imagine that shit. You'd be bored of that shit. You will be bored of that shit. This is why you want every game to be different and hit every audience. Like Psychonauts 2, that game is fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible game. I've never completed the first one, but part 2, that game was incredible. That's the beauty of it. Tim Schafer and his team are making unique experiences, and that's what I love about it. Now we're gonna get to the interview, guys, because I've got about half an hour left. Long live the Black Mamba, because when you have money, you love different. You live different. Yeah. When you have money, you love different. Let me know. Rich said a crew with a 2. Creative Face uploaded a video talking smack again. Now Rich is talking about Creative Face. Guys, do you wanna guess who he's talking about? Do you wanna guess who he's talking about, guys? When he talks about Creative Face, Moonface, who's he talking about? Rich, are you talking about this? Rich, are you talking about this picture, yeah? Rich, is this what you're talking about? Rich, is this what you're talking about? Is this what you're talking about, Rich? This is the pictures put up. Let me have some pony tears before we get to the Phil Spencer interview, guys. Is this what you're talking about, Rich? I had the shit on lockdown. Lock and key, lock and loaded play. Look at this shit! Guys, didn't take this shit off. Look at this shit! We got Joey Krakenden's podcast member for 11 months. Respect to my president, Phil Spencer. He's out here upset keeping a real dream ass guys. He can fuck off. No, sorry. Dream ass guys has a fuck face. Oh shit. Oh shit. They said take the pic down. Everybody got knocked the fuck out with that picture. Dreamcast guy. Oh man. It's a shame, innit, guys? Come on. Why are you going after Dreamcast guy like that? But Dreamcast guy got one thing to say to you, player.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
Woo! But now, guys, let's get to the Phil Spencer interview, player. Let's get to the Phil Spencer interview. Was it 56? Let me get a super chat as well. Oh, shit. Long live the Black Mamba with a 2. Dreamcast guy looks like the Bro Mac. Oh, shit. The Blue Mac from Gears. Oh, come on, player. Come on, player. There's no need for that. There's no need for that. Come on, player. You guys are going after him. Take. Oh, shit.
Decision time. You want everything. But what's it going to be this time? Pizza. Yeah.
Oh, shit. What's this shit here?
Multiple of our shows. We're not doing this episode live, but thank you for your support. And thank you to our Patreon producers for the month of May, Delaney Twining. Thank you for your support. This week, the Kind of Funny Xcast is sponsored by Honey and Rocket Money, but myself and the team will tell you all about that in just a little bit. Let's get to the show. We get to hang out with Phil Spencer. It's going to be a fun time together. Phil, let's just jump right into it. And it's a tough way to start this episode. It's my birthday this week, and I didn't want to have to do it like this. But, Phil,
cheers, buddy.
It's a tough week in the Xbox universe. As you know, of course, the CMA kind of blocking our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, and Redfall coming out to poor reviews at the launch. Let's start off at the top. Phil, let's talk about the CMA and, of course, this Activision Blizzard acquisition. How are you feeling about this? What should be the overall mindset for Xbox gamers when we look at this after months and months of conversation?
Yeah, we remain confident. Obviously, the news from the CMA, which for those not tracking all this, is the United Kingdom's regulatory board on acquisitions to block the acquisition. We'll be appealing that. That's our plan. We continue to work with the European Union. We'll continue to work with the FTC. I think there are like 14 jurisdictions all up. We're working on approval. I think we have 9 approvals so far. But the CMA decision was disappointing. I've been talking to that group for coming up on a year. They've defined a market of cloud gaming that, in my mind, doesn't really exist yet today. But they have a point of view that maybe we have a lead in a market that is just forming, and that this content could somehow prohibit others from competing in that market. But we'll appeal. We stay on it. The company remains very, very committed. We think Activision Blizzard King is not our strategy, but it is an accelerant for our strategy. So we're still heads down and working through regulatory.
I am pleased to hear that, of course, as a big fan of many of those gaming franchises over there. I'm looking forward to seeing this deal go through, and I'm glad to hear that you and the team are still hard at work at making this happen. It's been a long road. It's been a tough road to talk about it each and every single week, kind of falling apart, but
it's always the Brits, isn't it, Mike? We're always the fly in the ointment. We just got to rain on everyone's parade.
It's a tough one, Gary. Of course, we got to move on to the next one. Phil, of course, Redfall has released from Arcane Austin, and it's been a tough release week for that, coming out to...
Let me pause this for a second. I want to get this super chats, guys. Sorry about that. We got Jay Subs becoming a TTS member. Shout out to you, homie, man. Respect to you guys. Sapo with the 5. NASA will spend a total of $5 billion to map Dream... Oh, shit. NASA will spend $5 billion to map Dreamcast... She meant... Map Dreamcast guy's face. Oh shit. Talk that shit, player. Looney Boy with the 5 as well. Phil Spencer always stands in the fire. Phil is a strong leader. Win, lose, or draw. He doesn't hide in his office. He faces the public always. Facts, bro. Facts. He always does. Absolutely always does as well. Let's get back to the interview.
Low reviews and a lot of disappointment from many fans. Can you talk about that? What is your thoughts right now as we head into the first week of this game being out?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. I'll hit Redfall, but I'll just say all up. There's nothing that's more difficult for me than disappointing the Xbox community. I've been a part of it for a long time. I obviously work on Xbox, head of the business, have a lot of friends, get a lot of feedback. And just to kind of watch the community lose confidence, be disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm upset with myself. I kind of revisit our process. I think back to the announcement of 60 frames per second, and then we weren't shipping 60 frames per second. That was kind of our punch in the chin, rightfully, a couple weeks ago. And then seeing the game come out, and the critical response was not what we wanted. And it's disappointing. And so kind of pick myself up. What can we learn? How can we get better? One thing I'll fight is kind of what went wrong. There's clearly quality and execution things that we can do. But one thing I won't do is push against creative aspirations of our teams. Then a lot of people will say, hey, you've got teams know how to do one kind of game. Just force them to go do the one kind of game that they have a proven track record for. And I'm just not a believer in that. Maybe that means I'll underdeliver for some of our fans out there. But when a team like Rare wants to do Sea of Thieves, when a team like Obsidian wants to do Grounded, when Tango wants to go do Hi-Fi, when everybody probably thought they were doing Evil Within 3, I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and push their ability, push their aspirations. But I also need to have a great selection of games that are continue to come that surprise and delight our fans. And we underdelivered on that. And for that, I apologize. It's not what I expect, not what I want. But it's ours to deliver.
So following up on that, Phil, so again, I appreciate the transparency on that, but there is a second component to this. And as you may or may not know, I talk to a lot of people in the Xbox community because I want to understand, what people are excited about, what they're frustrated about, things like that. So kind of sticking on this conversation about Redfall, but it's kind of a bigger general question as well. And I kind of want to read directly from this so I make sure I get it crystal clear. So what goes into the decision to delay a game when you launch it feature incomplete or there's a bunch of technical issues? Obviously, we've seen recent examples around the industry. Redfall and Halo Infinite are two that stick out in my mind for Xbox. We obviously have seen the review scores. Clearly, we've had the opinion that the game should be delayed. We know every developer wants to ship the best game that they possibly can, but from your level, what's the balance there on when to ship a game that may be feature incomplete or have some technical issues, or just simply give it more time and delay it?
Yo, that's a proper hard-boiled question. Before we can let Phil answer that, let me get the super chats from the homies. Dragon's Blade with a 2. He goes, Forspoken, did it cause a pandemonium like a Redfall is? 100%, bro. 100%. Mandingo with a 2, what's going on, amigos? You will never, ever hear Jim Rand apologize. Never. Always call it what's going on, player. Let's continue. Bro, that's a hell of a question asking. Bro, these are the questions we're talking about. At least Phil Spencer will come up and answer the questions at least. Unlike the other punk bitch Jim Ryan running like a whore.
Well, I think those are, and I'm happy to go very deep on this. I think if I think about a team's execution on a game, we had a creative vision, and did we realize that vision through the game that we created? That's not a delay question if the answer is no. Like, you can't take something that you started on. This isn't a Redfall specific conversation, right? But we will build games that review in the high 80s, and we will build games that review in the 60s. I mean, it's just kind of part of being in game publishing. And if you're afraid of that, then you shouldn't be in the entertainment business. You shouldn't be in the games business. That said, every time we deliver something below our own internal expectations that surprises us, we should check our process. I don't look at the review scores on Redfall, and there are quality issues, and we're working on those. But I think there's a fundamental piece of feedback that we get that the game isn't realizing the creative vision that it had for its players. That doesn't feel like hey, just delay it. That feels like the game had a goal to do one thing, and when players are actually playing, they're not feeling that thing. They're not feeling the creative execution of the team. When a game needs to be delayed, what we did with Halo, we did with Starfield, we did with Redfall, because the production timeline is saying we have this vision and our production timelines don't get us to the completion of that vision, we do delay games. We do that. Learning about the quality, there are clearly, I've seen them. I know there are bugs in Redfall that's launching. But when I look at like the crash rates on the game, because we get all the telemetry of everything that's happened, it's not out of proportion for a game that has just launched. It's kind of in the pocket of what we would expect. That's not to deny any of the animation, streaming of texture bugs, the AI bugs that we've seen. We will go work on those. But when I look at the review scores of this game, it's did we have enough of creative differentiation in our core idea, and did we realize that creative ambition? I'm a huge supporter of Arcane Austin. Their track record is awesome. I love a lot of the great games that they've built. This is one where the team didn't hit their own internal goals when it launched. I think it's maybe a little simplistic to just say, hey, if you would have just delayed it 3 months, the core creative of the game would have delivered on something that was different than what it was. So I look at them at different camps. If there's a production timeline issue, we've been open to delaying. If we just have more bugs than we should have at the end of a game, we're open to delaying. At some point, we have to have a creative vision and put the game out, and reviewers and players will tell us what they think.
That's a great
Can I
question,
jump in?
bro.
Yeah, of course. Please, Gary.
So I have a
That's a great, man. Look how Phil answered that shit, bro. These are the questions that people do ask before we'll get into it. This is what we want to know as well. There comes to a point where you just got to put the game out. Regardless, that game, you could have it all perfect, but the game may still not hit. The game still won't be perfect because when people are playing the game, they'll figure certain things out, that this is not right, the balance of the weapons are right, the way the characters doing the certain abilities ain't right. A lot of the games that come out like live services game or just multiplayer games in general, it takes the player feedback, and that's how the game becomes what it is. So shout out to Phil for answering that question, man. Long live the Black Mamba with a 5. Even with the problems, bugs, and glitches, if it got an 80 Metacritic score, nobody would give a fuck. Cough, cough. Jedi Survivor. It's all about console war ammo. You're not lying there, player. You're not lying there, player. Let's continue.
just a couple of small observations and then a question. First of all, I want to give Phil props for coming on here today and talk just for a minute about why I admire Phil, because he and I have been here before. Back in 2020 during the pandemic when I was doing Animal Talking, Phil, you'll remember this. Phil was booked to come on my dumb Animal Crossing talk show. And then after he was booked, the news came that Halo Infinite was going to be delayed and would not ship with the Xbox Series X and S. And it was you'll remember, it was a big deal. There was a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth and people rending their garments. And I was fully prepared for the other shoe to drop. I was waiting for a call from Xbox PR from Jeff, your friend of mine, Jeff, over in Xbox PR, to say, Phil's not going to be able to come on the show live because, it's a big mess right now. We don't want to put him in the firing line for that. And Jeff called and I thought, here it is. Here comes the other shoe. And he was like, Phil just wants to know, when's the tech rehearsal? It's going ahead. And he came on a live talk show and took a bunch of tough questions on a really tough subject and took it on the chin. And I've always admired him for that, it would have been very easy for him to pull out, and he didn't. He came on and he's doing it again now, and I salute Phil for that. The other point I want to make is that every time, there may be some Sony platform warriors out there right now crowing about the fact that Redfall has underperformed.
Yeah,
I want to point this out as a creative.
Ponies.
Every time somebody takes a big bet, especially a big AAA bet on an original idea, a new IP, and it fails, everybody suffers. it's bad for everybody because it makes it that much harder for the Phils and the Jim Ryans of the world, the big, the creative, the decision makers to take a chance on them. Oh, but the last time we did that, it didn't work. Like maybe let's just make a sequel to the next thing, or let the algorithm tell us what to do. So every time somebody takes a risk on something new, and especially if it involves something different in game design, let's try something that has been done. When it doesn't work, it hurts everybody. So I just want everyone to be clear. This sucks for everybody. And I see it in my business, I see it in Hollywood, I see it in film and television. It's why so much content is so generic and derivative and formulaic, because everyone's afraid to take a risk. And when something new succeeds, it's good for everyone. When something new and original fails, it's bad for everyone. So I just want to acknowledge that this is like a big shit sandwich, and we all have to take a bite, including the Sony people, including everybody. Specifically with the, this is a long time, specifically with a question for Phil, I want to talk specifically about Redfall. When you say that you're disappointed in the reaction, that to me suggests that the reaction was something different than what you were expecting, what you were hoping for. But I know that when these big AAA games, they get subjected to all kinds of internal testing. Focus groups come in. There are third-party companies that will come in and even write like mock reviews or come like hit detection out that will tell you, here's what you can expect the press to make of your game. So usually you've got a sense of what the game is going to, how it's going to be received before it's released, so you can be prepared for it. So Phil, when you say you're disappointed, does that mean that you thought the game was going to be better received, or was it in line with expectations? How surprised were you by the reaction, or how, like, internally, how much I feel like this one, people we know the game it has problems. Like, to what extent was this different from what you expected? And also, and sorry, I know I've been talking a long time. And the second part of that is, when a game is released now, it's not like the old days when a cartridge was shipped in a box and the release of the game was the end of the game's like development cycle. Now it's just the 1.0 release is just a point on the roadmap. To what extent, given that what we're talking about here is not just 30 frames, but design issues, things that may be more conceptual, to what extent do you think, or are you committed to continuing to work on the game and getting it maybe a year down the road, Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky? We've seen these redemptive stories in the past. To what extent do you hold out hope that you can still get the game closer to where you wanted it to be at launch?
Yo, before we continue, man, let me get a super chat from Caribbean Hybrid, man, with a 220 Canadian. Gotta give Phil props for taking it on the chin. Yo, look at the questions Phil Spencer is getting right now, guys. Look at the question. Even though Xbox, when Redfall came out, and got the negative reviews, guys, look at the questions that he's taking right now. That's what you call a fucking leader. Jim Ryan's punk ass, stinky ass would never ever be around. Never ever be around. He would have disappeared. He would have disappeared on that. And this is the question he's taking right now. Especially what's happening with Redfall. Especially what's happening on social media. Even the media guys are talking about, is this the last hurrah for Xbox? Maybe Xbox should leave the console platform. Console gaming space. This is the shit I'm talking about. What a fucking... Yo, let me get this said. These skill towns with the two. This interview has a lot of good insight. 100%. This is the beauty of it, bro. First of all, yeah, regardless if you like... First of all, give these guys a shout out for getting Phil Spencer for the interview. But give props to Phil. The head of fucking gaming, bro. Coming on here, especially what's been going on, and giving his insight and talking about what we can do better and what the problems are. Before we continue, Dragon's Blade with the 2. Phil can take it. Jim Ryan would be silent. Facts. Jim Ryan punk ass would be never ever. He'd never been seen before. He would have disappeared. Listen. Jim Ryan's that dude you never ever seen. That's it. Never ever turns up on that. Never ever turns up, no matter what. Punk. Looney Boy with a 2. Phil Spencer bleeds green. Talk that shit, my homies. Talk that shit. Salute to Phil. Let's carry on with the interview, guys.
I know that was a lot.
No, well, at first I thought your words about creative ambition of teams, you especially, I mean, you've lived this, you've done this, are very well said and very spot on. So thank you for that. And that's why I love your voice in this community, because you've created, you've seen kind of ups, and as anybody in the industry, we've all seen downs. And on the score, yeah, we do mock reviews for every game that we launch, and this is like double digits lower than we thought we would be. with this game went through our mock reviews. And that's what's one of the disappointing things. Like we would never strive to launch a game that we thought was going to review in the low 60s. It's not part of our goals. If you look at our review scores over the last year, it's not a defense at all. If you look at the review scores over the last year, I think the teams have done a better job in upping the level of quality of the games that we've shipped. Some of those games first shipped on PlayStation, but still, when I go through the list of the games, you still have to build a game, you still have to ship a game. And this game was significantly below our internal metrics in terms of where it actually reviewed. But that's not on anybody but us. Like, we have to own that. In terms of our commitment to the game, absolutely. The team at Arcane is on taking the near-term feedback. We're still working on the 60 frames per second. We have a good timeline for that. We're committed to getting that done. And we're going to continue to work the game. I think we've shown a commitment to games like Sea of Thieves and like Grounded to continue to go and build games. But I also know that these games are $70, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna take full responsibility for launching a game that needs to be great. You know, I think what I have with the Xbox community, what I am a part of, is a team. There's still questions that pop every so often of how committed is the company to this category. When are we just going to push Xbox out of the market? There's a lot of Twitter firing of Phil right now, which is fine. I'm way overpaid for the role I have anyway. So like, I get that's my responsibility. But we will remain committed to the game and the players as long as the players want to go play games. And that's my commitment to the community. I'm kind of at a low point right now in terms of my delivery on that commitment to the community. But it very much stays. I want to support the team. I want to support the creative ambitions of the teams, and I want to support the players. And we let a lot of people down this week with the launch of the game, but we will continue to strive on. You have to, right? That's what creative is about.
Yo, talk that shit, Phil. Talk that shit. This is what we're talking about. Let me get the super chat before we get into it. Salute to Phil. PK Thunder with a 10. Shout out to you, homie. When Xbox makes a bad game, it's we messed up. But when PlayStation makes a bad game, it's what? Misogyny. LGBT here. LGBT here? I'm not sure, bro. 100% PK. Sorry about that if I don't get the last part. Yo, did you hear that shit? Basically, Phil called his dog shit Pony and Pony bots out. Talking about fire Phil and that. Bro, talk that shit, Phil. Don't give these motherfuckers anything anymore. Even these Pony bots, don't give them shit. The real ones will rock out with you. Don't you ever give shit to these pieces of shit. Straight up. Hold that shit. Stand by that shit. I'm glad you came out and said that shit, player. Long live the Black Mamba with a 2. How can you hit Phil? He's the realest leader gaming out there in the gaming space. 100% player. G Stealth with a 2. And he will fix the game. Phil Spencer doesn't lie. Facts, bro. Only lied about VR once, but he backed away from that. But guys, Phil Spencer ain't going anywhere. And these ponies are hurting bad. Do you know why these ponies are hurting bad? It's because this motherfucker's out here buying publisher studios and bringing Xbox to a different level. And they hate it. They hate it when a gamer is in charge. They know Jim Ryan ain't gonna do shit. But when Phil Spencer's been in charge and the way he's moving, it's like chess. You sacrifice a couple of your pawns, but at the end, you get the checkmate. And that's the beauty about this. They want Xena, 100% right. They want Phil Spencer fired. And they've been waiting on that for ages. Because they don't like the way he's moving. They hate it the way he's moving. So shout out to Phil for talking that shit, player. Punk. Yeah, he made a smart investment, but you know what I mean? He brought it out. You know what I mean? Long live the Black Mamba. But let's continue.
No, you absolutely do. And to kind of start transitioning this into hopefully more happy news, but I do want to address something, around that. Obviously, today you announced the Xbox Game Showcase, which will be happening this June. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of new reveals and surprises that come out of that, which is great. but I am going to bring it back again to another common theme that I do hear through the community. And I've actually said this to you in the past, but it's about communication coming from Xbox. I do feel back in 2021, you did a fantastic job with communication, which arguably has been the best year during this current generation of Xbox. Obviously, we know that 2022 was a light year for Xbox as far as releasing titles. Now, last year, during the showcase, you had the 12-month plan. You didn't necessarily deliver on all the games coming.
No, we didn't deliver. No, necessarily. We didn't deliver.
Talk that shit.
So my point of bringing
Ponies,
that up is this.
Listen to that shit.
You know,
let me pull that back.
During this current.
Let me pull that back 1 second. Talk that shit. As a leader, as a guy who's running the Xbox, you fucking take the hit on the chin. We've been saying this, don't do the 12 months and that, and he said he's not delivered. Talk that shit. Ritz with the 5. Like Joker said in The Dark Knight, Sony does anything bad, no one bats an eye. But when Xbox does, the whole world starts freaking out. Talk that shit, Ritz. Facts, bro. Facts. You hear that shit? You hear that shit? Listen to this shit once again. What a fucking legend. Let me put the volume a bit higher as well.
And surprises that come out of that, which is great. But I am going to bring it back again to another common theme that I do hear through the community. And I've actually said this to you in the past, but it's about communication coming from Xbox. I do feel back in 2021, you did a fantastic job with communication, which arguably has been the best year during this current generation of Xbox. Obviously, we know that 2022 was a light year for Xbox as far as releasing titles. Now, last year, during the showcase, you had the 12-month plan. You didn't necessarily deliver on all the games coming.
No, we didn't deliver. Not necessarily. We didn't deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. So my point of bringing that up is this. You know, talking about some of the lessons learned that come out of that. And obviously, even with not every game making the 12 months, going back to, again, you know, game development, things happen. Things aren't always going to come on time. But as we go into this showcase, one of the common themes that I hear is I don't know enough about things that you've announced in the past, like even more specifically going back to 2020. And I'll just run down a quick list of it. Vowed, Perfect Dark, Everwild, which is something we really don't know that much about. Fable, State of Decay 3, Contraband. Obviously, we've seen a little more in Hellblade 2. You know, we have studios like In Exile and Compulsion Games that we know are working on things, but we haven't seen any real updates on that. So I titled all my questions Balance and Communication, because even in this, it's like, what is that balance on when you show something that you know is going to be years down the road, and kind of that cadence of providing updates along the way. And obviously, as we go into this showcase, not that you need to reveal anything specific here, but what were some of those lessons learned from last year's showcase that you'll bring into this one?
Before I continue, you know, the super chats are very important because you guys support the show and you guys in the chat as well. Looney Boy with a 2. This is what you call, this is called accountability. A real leadership. Looney Boy, 100% facts. That's the best way to put it. Accountability, player. That's how you do. That's what a leader does. Accountability. Talk that shit, Looney Boy. Let's continue, player. Oh shit, I got one more. 1 second. One second. Mandingo with the 2. Why does Panda sound like a nippless poop? Mandingo, stop it. Stop it. We're trying to be PG over here, player. Stop it.
Yeah, and you might try to get me on positive. I'm not in positive mode this week, so I'll apologize for staying in kind of cranky mode. But in terms of lessons learned, and I'll even go back to the Redfall videos on IGN of showing videos of the game running at 60 on PC, at the point knowing that the game was going to run 30 frames per second at launch on console. Like, we have to be transparent about what we're showing, that what we're showing is representative of what our console customer, our most committed customer to our brand, financially committed, what they're going to see, what they're going to play, and that transparency just has to get better. And I'm not pointing at anybody but myself, right? And you know, I guess at some point I will have enough knocks against me that it's somebody else here. But you know, that I think it's transparency in what we're building, what our aspiration is for the game, what it's going to look like, what the features are. And it drives me crazy when we self-inflicted wounds of kind of putting things out there of communication that's confusing or misleading about what the actual end product is going to be.
Facts.
So you can try to take me to positive space. I'm just not in that headspace right now.
That's the shit.
That said, when I go and I look at Showcase, and I'm not going to try to oversell Showcase here, because if I were on the other side of watching this, it's like, hey, after Redfall, I'm going to put my hands on the controller, and that's what's going to take to kind of prove to me. But that's not what Showcase is. So I'm very enthusiastic about Showcase. We're going to announce some things that people haven't seen, some new games. We're going to give updates to some of the things that were on your list. The other thing that gets me really excited is when I look forward over the next quarters, which has always been my focus of how do we get a big game out every quarter at quality, that things are lining up finally after some of the slowdown through COVID. I'm tired of talking about that. But I can now see that we've got games coming every quarter that I think will surprise and delight our customers. We still have to deliver on the creative. We still have to deliver on the technical. Not every game we ship is for everybody. We know that. Like, I'm not trying to build the one game to rule them all. We will have different creative takes and we have a very diverse portfolio when you think about the stuff that Microsoft Game Studios builds. But I like that. I think for what we're trying to do as Xbox, which isn't to mimic any of the other platforms out there, it's create our own brand and identity. The diversity of what we build, hopefully will end up being a strength. But we have to do it at quality. We have to do it on time. And we have to show people what they're actually going to see. We have to show gameplay. And I think I'm kind of beyond that. Like, we've got to put great games in the hands of our players. There's nothing else.
If I could follow up on,
Snap that motherfucking pony in the chat. Snap him. Maverick, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Hide that punk ass bitch. We don't play over here. Yo, Maverick, this is for you and your bitch ass ponies, you whore. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. We don't play that shit over here. And you know why?
I don't give a fuck.
That's why. Ritz with the 5. Sean, we need an emo. Phil is a goat. Phil is goat. For times like this. Talk that shit. We got it. TTS tomorrow player. Love it. We got, sorry about this, 1 second. Where are we now? Long live the Black Mamba with a 5. Sony said they wanted to launch 10 live service games by March 2024. It's May 2023 and not one launch. Where's the outrage? Where the fuck is Spider-Man and that dog shit Wolverine and that? Wolverine. Nowhere to be seen. Talk that shit, homies. This is a pony free zone and a pony bot zone as well. Free zone, whatever you want to call it. It's G-Self with the 5. That's why I like Phil Spencer. That's why I never flip to that dog shit PlayStation 4 and 5. F these ponies. Xbox all day, every day. Talk that shit, G-Stealth. Talk that shit. Spider-Dick ain't gonna do shit. Wolverine ain't gonna do shit. Punk. Let's go.
On that, and I apologize. I do not want to dominate the conversation, but I make sure I want to follow up on the point of everything that you just said. And I'll take it from a personal standpoint. I've been a big believer in what Xbox has been building since about 2016, right?
Bullshit.
Xbox Play Anywhere, Game Pass, what you're doing with the Series X and S,
Bullshit.
Just the cloud initiative, everything. I love all the services and the marketing message that you present to the community. But to your point, and for me personally, I have Game Pass. My kids play it. We all love it. But you even mentioned delivering quality experiences every quarter, things like that. That's the sentiment that we get from the community right now. That's the sentiment that I even have of, it's great to talk about these things. I think we've been talking about them ad nauseum. It's like, when are we going to get to that point of actually delivering these experiences? Like I just ran down those games. There's 20 something studios. Forget Activision. Xbox Game Studios, what it is today. There's more than enough studios and titles out there that we're all anticipating. And I think that is the common frustration that I see out there from people, that it's like, we're tired of hearing wait till next year. And I know you know that, but
I know,
it's like,
I know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
This year started out well.
Yeah,
I
yes,
thought
it did.
Developer Direct was received well. The team did a really good job, I thought, with the messaging around to your point, around setting expectation. And I will even say, yes, I'm rooting for the home team here, but I'll say over delivering on expectations of that show versus what it was. I think the drop of Hi-Fi to say, hey, if you've got Game Pass, you don't even have to buy the game. Like, just go click. People loved Hi-Fi. Something we don't talk a lot about that same month, Age 2 on console shipped. Truth be told, more people are playing a bunch of people are playing Hi-Fi and Age 2, but Age 2 actually has more players right now. But all the fanfare goes to the highly rated kind of new Hi-Fi. Get that. I know the review scores on Minecraft Legends. Minecraft, I think, always reviews somewhere kind of different than the top. But if I look at the reaction, I think we've already had over 3 million people playing. I saw, like, its launch week, it was the #1 retail game on the Switch in Japan, which isn't always where Microsoft sits in terms of sales. So I feel like momentum is building, and then something like Redfall happens, and the Xbox community should demand a lot from us as a team, where we sit inside of Microsoft. We've got the resources to do better. 2022 was, as you said, a very light year, I think is what you said. I might have other words for it. And then 2023, we started well, and this was a knockback. But it's our job to go and deliver on the next games. I can only look forward, right? I can sit here and wallow in my own frustration. But all I can do is say, I'm going to do better tomorrow than I did yesterday, and continue to support the teams and continue to grow. But yeah, I think it is ours to prove that. I can say now, and everybody can already stop, I don't want to hear what Phil has to say about the future, and I kind of fully respect that point of view, that we've got Starfield coming, we've got Forza coming, we've got Hellblade coming. Like, we've got collections of a game.
I think them threes are
seeing
coming
very good
this
builds
year.
of Avowed and stuff. Like, we're in, like, I can see it.
Hellblade.
But until you have a controller in your hand and you're smiling from playing our games, none of my words should matter.
Shout out to Honey for sponsoring this episode. Honey is the easy way to say.
Let me stop sharing that. I'll pull it in. Let me just get past this advertisement. 1 second. There we go, guys. Let me pull it back up again. I just want to make sure I don't get that sponsorship. Nuisance with the 2. What up, Sean? I heard PlayStation has no games. Facts, bro. What do they have? Spider Dick? Swing to the left, cha-cha-cha. Swing to the right, cha-cha-cha. Hey, look. Jim Ryan is a piece of shit on the street corners. Let's save him. POS. Let me get back to the YouTube shit. Honey, Honey ain't sponsored this show. Honey ain't sponsoring TTMS. Punk. Let's continue, guys.
Just talking about what have you learned.
You guys said, do you want to make a documentary? And I went, yeah,
Oh,
it should be.
1 second, guys. Oh, shit. There we go. It's back on now. I don't know what happened there. I think Hellblade 2's happening.
Just talking about what have you learned. And I want to go back to that in the case of Redfall, even just as a case study for things like this when they happen in general. Because Redfall wasn't even the only game to stumble out of the gate this week. Look at the PC version of Jedi Survivor. What a mess. Unacceptable that that game shipped in the state that it was. And they must have known. It was, oh, geez, the game has bugs. No, you knew, and you shipped it anyway. So EA Respawn, for example, even on a massive title like that, it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. We all know that. But like the PC version was unacceptable. My understanding is the PlayStation version's a bit of a mess as well. So we're still seeing this stuff happening on the regular. Just in general, when things, I'm fascinated, as you might know, I'm fascinated by the subject of failure because I've experienced a lot of it in my own career and in my personal life as well. And I think about it a lot. The number one quote that I stole from a person much smarter than me, I talk about it all the time when I talk about writing at creative seminars and things like that, is failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. But that's only true if you can get past feeling sorry for yourself when something fails and sift through the rubble and start figuring out, well, what can we learn? What can we learn from this failure? What can we take from this? What is teachable? And so I wanted to ask Phil, both in general and in the case of Redfall, I know you said you were going to work in towards kind of turning the game around, but like, do you have a formal process? And what does it look like in the case of Redfall when something doesn't meet expectations? Is it something you get into right away, or do you wait for the dust to settle? What is the post-mortem process? What is the what went wrong, and how do we prevent this from happening again process look like at Xbox?
Yeah, it's a great point, and I think I love your quote, Gary. I might lift that from you. People don't have to care about this, but I'll talk about it. When we acquire studios, there's games that are in development when we acquire a studio, and then there's things that are either really early in development or not even conceived yet. And I think we need to improve on engaging in games that are midway through production when they become part of Xbox. I do think there's a different expectation for a game and even a team when you've been third party and all of a sudden you become part of first party. There's a different expectation in terms of how you're going to perform on our console. I think there's a different competitive set when people look at what this game is and the other games that they're going to say, hey, I want this game to feel as competitive as this other game on another console platform in our case. And we didn't do a good job early on in engaging with Arcane Austin to really help them understand what it meant to be part of Xbox and part of first party, and use some of our internal resources to help them and kind of move along that journey even faster. So we kind of left them to go work on the game. They're a very talented team. I love that team, and I still do, and I will totally bet on them to do another great game. But when like Matt Booty and Jamie Leader, who's running ZeniMax, and I sit down, I think we could engage earlier with our different studios. And I do think there's a difference when we come in when the creative's already set on a game. That's not washing our hands of any of the creative. Every game we ship from our teams is an Xbox game. And so it's a full responsibility for it. But thinking about how our internal processes of dev assistance, even some of our internal ATG resources, which is the Advanced Technology Group, and how those work with our internal teams, I think we can do a better job with our internal teams. We did a better job with Starfield. Again, nobody should believe it until they're playing the game, but that game was earlier on in production, and it was easier for us to kind of swarm a bunch of people to go and kind of help with some of the technology on our platform and ensure that we're going to ship a quality experience there. And we should have been there for Harvey and the team earlier. I think that's on us. And then through the process, it's an Unreal game. We have a bunch of studios that have done some really great work on Unreal over the years. And I think we were too late to help in that when they had certain issues that they were working through, which any team will. It's nothing to do with the specific engine.
Right.
But we have a lot of experience, and we needed to get on that earlier with the team. And we didn't do that. And that's not an excuse. And you asked just to kind of diagnose. So when the 60 frames per second issue came up, we were definitely diving in. We had people from the Coalition and people from Rare and stuff looking, both teams that have done some really great work with Unreal to help us build a 60 FPS plan. But obviously that was a plan that had to be in place last fall in order for us to really be in a position to have it at launch. And I take that as learning, as painful as it is. But as you said, it's part of getting to success are those learnings and that diagnosis. There's a bunch of other stuff I could go into, but then we end up with kind of dev doc, which I'm happy to do. But yeah.
Well, Phil, we don't have much time with you, so I'm going to go around the table, give everybody one final question for Phil. I'm going to rattle off a couple quick ones with you, Phil. Of course, we talk about 60 frames, 30 frames. Should Xbox players expect a clear message this summer with Starfield with 30 and 60 frames? That's a big lesson learned, as you brought up. Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one. Another one, you see a lot of conversation, of course. I want to praise you and the team for really elevating the PC side of this Xbox ecosystem. I think we've seen a lot of great strides in that. But when you see the community talk about the console side of things, do you think you've lost the focus or maybe put too much onto the PC side? Do you think that the console is still getting the console love that it deserves, whether it be the homepage update, achievements, of course, looking forward and using the power of this next gen? Do you think you guys have lost that focus, or is it still there, and can we see more love on that side?
But we'll definitely continue to focus on making our console experience as great as it can be. I like the homepage refresh and some stuff. I will say this might be disruptive as well. We have a different vision. You know, Paris talked about this. It's play the games you want with the people you want anywhere you want. We want Xbox to be something that people who buy our console can feel like they're a member of. Obviously, who are playing on PC, who are playing on cloud, that they feel like they're full members of our ecosystem. Game Pass players can play on many different devices, and we remain fully committed to that. We're not in the business of out consoling Sony or out consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases, very, very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform, but we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. So when you go and you're building on Xbox, we want our Xbox community to feel awesome. But this idea that if we just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race, I think doesn't really lay into the reality of most people. Like 90% of the people every year who walk into a retailer to buy a console are already a member of one of the three ecosystems, and their digital library is there. This is the first generation where the big games that they're playing were games that were available last gen. When you think about Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft, like the continuity from generation to generation is so strong. I see a lot of pundits out there that kind of want to go back to the time where we all had cartridges and discs and every new generation was a clean slate and you could switch the whole console share. That's just not the world that we are in today. There is no world where Starfield's an 11 out of 10 and people start selling their PS5s. That's not going to happen. So what we have to do, and we have this unique vision because we see what creators want to do. Creators want to build games that can meet players on any screen. People play with their friends regardless of what other screen they're on. And the console is the core of the Xbox brand. There's no doubt. So like we will stay focused on making sure that console experience is awesome. But I know some people want to hold us up of just being a better green version of what the blue guys do. And I'm just going to say, like, there's not a win for Xbox in staying in the wake of somebody else. We have to go off and do our own thing with Game Pass, with the stuff we do with xCloud, and the way we build our games. Sorry, I was a little long-winded.
No, that was perfect. And unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Phil. I know that we have a hard out here, but I want to end it with something positive, Phil, because I've gotten cranky, Phil, this whole episode, and I freaking love you, and I appreciate you being on and being hard with us, but I do need something positive out of you, Phil. So before you leave, tell me and the Xbox community something positive that you're looking forward to, that you're playing, anything fun to bring a smile to your face.
Dude, I'm an optimist. Like, you know, I will always see, I'll use this for you, the gap between the trees. I'll always see the fresh pow. Like, this is why I'm here. I love the games that are ahead of us. I'm having a great time playing the games that are available in Game Pass today. I look in Ravenlock coming, Benedict's here. Like, I just love playing video games. One of the things I am excited about is the ROG Ally, something I've got my hands on if people have had a chance to play with that. And I just love the fact that here's another device that people are going to get to go experience great games on, whether it's your Steam Deck or that or your Xbox. You know, I see the growth in video games. I get to spend time with creators who are excited about the opportunity that they have. I get to go play some amazing games, some of those in Game Pass, some of those not. And I just think this the gaming space has never been more diversely creative than it is right now, and it's a privilege to be a part of it.
I love hearing that. Paris, end us with this episode. What do you got to say? And let's get out of here.
Yeah, just a quick statement as we get out of here. First and foremost, Phil, thank you for doing this. This is clearly not the conversation we thought we were going to have when we scheduled this, but we do appreciate your candor and just being 100% honest about the current state of what's going on with Xbox. I am hopeful in the future we can have more conversations about what ID at Xbox is doing in their initiatives, Game Camp New Orleans, things like that are more positive and enabling more creators, because that's what I really wanted to talk about in this episode. But as we go into June, I am looking forward to the showcase. I am looking forward to the reveals that are coming. And I still think the future is bright for Xbox and Xbox Game Studios and what you'll have to present. This is a bump in the road, but I still think the future is going to be bright. So again, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, Paris.
All right. Well, on behalf of my two gaming dads, thank you, Phil Spencer, for joining us on this week's Kinda Funny Xcast. Of course, thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with us. We will see you next week, and Team Xbox will see you in June for the big Xbox Game Showcase and, of course, that deep dive into Starfield. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you back next.
Yo, that was a great interview, guys. Absolutely great interview, man. I'm gonna run that back when I got time. I don't have much time now, but that was a great interview. My Dragon Blade with it too. Cranky Phil is still better than Smug Jim. Facts, bro. And we got Long Live the Black Mamba, because this is why there won't be a PS6. Phil is preaching, talk that shit with a 2-player. Can't play it. Yo, that was a great interview, man. Them are some tough questions, bro, especially what's going on, and some insight what the team and what Phil wants to do in the future as well. He took it like a champ. He took it like a champ. That's a great interview. I'm gonna run that back hopefully when I get more time later today. And I will definitely talk about it on TTS tomorrow with the homie Dirk Riggity. TTS will be at 6:30 Eastern tomorrow, guys. So for you guys in the States, you guys will be happy. And we'll be talking that shit. And I can't wait for you guys for rocking with the chat. Primus Gaming, what's going on, G? Ruckler, what's going on, my G? Don't worry about it, man. I'm going to bring something back. Spin the wheels coming back, so we'll see how it goes. But shout out to the 157, still strong here, guys. I got to go pick up the kid as well, man. But that was a tough interview and a great interview as well. That was a fair, the D-Skills time with the 2, tough but fair interview in my opinion. Facts, bro. Apollo with the 2 as well. Phil Defo won't be, what's that? Phil Defo won't be feeling Paris after this. Sorry about Apollo. Gonna fuck that super chat player. That was a great, I need to run that back. I'm definitely need to run that back, man. Phil's Gamer Live Studio with the 2. Shout out to you, homies. Phil Spencer is speaking facts. F them ponies. Talk that shit, player. Have you ever seen, I'm going to close it in 1 minute, 2 minutes. That's what you call a leader. Coming out with the interview and the questions like that, the insight like that as well. And I'm glad when you take a hit, you come back stronger. And that's the beauty of this. That is the beauty of this. Looney Boy with a 2-man W for Phil. I'm working on TTS edits today for Green Bleed Networks. Talk that shit, Looney Boy. Talk that shit, player. What a great, was it? Guys, shout out to every one of you guys for rocking out with me as well. Still got 150 plus strong in the air. Great show and a great interview, man. That was a great interview. I want to run that back and definitely talk about it more with the homie Dirk Riggity on TTS, guys. But tomorrow I'll catch you on TTS and we'll be talking that shit. Guys, be safe. Keep talking that shit. F these ponies and F these pony bots. They can kiss my punk ass, these smelly ass hoes. We out.